Good morning from Raleigh, North Carolina. It is the 4th of July, so happy 4th of July, however you want to celebrate that. I am a historian, and if somebody wants to try to break it down, we certainly can. There are some interesting issues in regards to the 4th of July not necessarily representing everybody. Understood. But anyway, happy 4th of July, however you keep it. Um, let's talk about Well, I don't know. Let's talk about the South. Um, so when we talk about the South, oftentimes what we do is we encase it, you know, within a certain, within certain boundaries. It tends to be that what we do is we go probably from Virginia on south. I know some people who say, we don't even count Virginia. I know some people who say we don't even count North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and they only go from Alabama on to Louisiana. And, you know, they have the right to their opinion. Of course, it's interesting because the old South, the oldest versions of the South would not have included the states that they're talking about. Um, Texas, we generally include probably up to roughly about the 98th parallel or maybe the piney woods of East Texas. So we include those areas. Florida, we include, although maybe we'll include northern Florida. So, some people may make the argument from a cultural standpoint that once you go from, northern Florida on south, you're actually heading north, culturally speaking. You may have some people who do that. Um, but what I want to talk about, and very briefly, is, and some people include Maryland. Some people may even include Delaware. I think you ought to include West Virginia. You ever been to West Virginia? You ought to include West Virginia. But But let's talk about the Upland South. Now, the Upland South is basically another word for Upper South, but it gives us some more inclusivity, I think, because the Upper Upland South makes us take note of that we probably need to go a little bit north of that Mason-Dixon line. So that is to say, um, Ohio, not all of Ohio, my goodness, not all of Ohio, but southern extreme portions of Ohio, um, such as Portsmouth, Ohio, for example. You ever been to Portsmouth, Ohio? There's a lot of southern accents in Portsmouth, Ohio, and a lot of southern mannerisms that are in that portion. There's some other portions of Ohio I can consider too. I don't know what you do with Cincinnati, but that could be interesting. Um, Southern Indiana. You absolutely have to include Southern Indiana in this conversation. It's interesting. What was it? I remember Larry Bird and Magic Johnson were on Letterman and how Letterman included them in the Midwest. Well, here's the problem with that. Southern Indiana is, I guess, Indiana's a Midwestern state, but Southern Indiana is oftentimes classified in what? It is classified in the Upland South. Probably the northernmost county of the Upland South, Indiana, is going to be Bartholomew County. Bartholomew County includes what? Columbus, Indiana. Who is Columbus, Indiana's most famous resident? Mike Pence. He sounds that way not because the man is a Midwesterner, which I guess if you want to include it overall in the state of Indiana, but he really sounds that way because culturally speaking, he is from the Upland South. Um, in Illinois, during during the antebellum period, Illinois may well have been your most pro-slavery free state. And there's some issues in regards to slavery in Illinois that I guess we could address at a later time. And on top of that, think of this. Cairo, spelled just like Cairo, Egypt, but they decided to call it Cairo. Cairo, Illinois extends so far down, it actually extends south of Richmond, Virginia. Then I don't know what you do with Missouri. Well, Missouri was a slave state, so a lot of times we don't consider Missouri in there because you got Poplar Bluff and all that. But you have to be real careful how you define the South, because basically, Southern Illinois, Southern Indiana, and much of Southern Ohio is basically Southern from a cultural standpoint. Anyway, that is my time. Take care. Have a wonderful 4th of July. I've got to pick up two people from the airport, probably around 4 or 5 o'clock, and get them back here so their sister and daughter can see them. Okay. Take care. Bye bye.